They say life gets easier with age, that after 70 you're supposed to relax, smile, and enjoy the so-called golden years. But here's the truth no one tells you. Aging comes with brutal realities, not the kind you read in health brochures, but the kind you feel at 2 a.m. when the room is quiet and your soul starts speaking. After 70, you begin to lose more than just muscle. You lose people, purpose, sometimes even yourself. You start to wonder if anyone hears you anymore, if your story still matters, if you're slowly disappearing while the world rushes past. This video is not about fear. It's not here to paint old age in dark colors. It's about truth, raw, necessary, healing truth. Because once you face what's really happening, you don't grow weaker. You grow wiser. In the next few minutes, you're going to hear 4 brutal realities that every senior needs to understand about aging, loneliness, invisibility, and the war against regret. And yes, they're hard to hear, but they might just save your spirit or the spirit of someone you love. So if you're over 60 or if you care about someone who is, don't look away, because this isn't the end of your story. This is the chapter where you rise with clarity, strength, and a voice that refuses to fade. Let's talk about what no one else dares to say. And let's face it, like warriors with wisdom, loneliness is not just a feeling, it's a health risk. Loneliness after 70 is not just about being alone in a room. It's deeper than that. It's the ache that comes when the phone stops ringing, when your friends are gone, when your children are busy, when your days become quiet, not peaceful, but empty. And here's the brutal truth. Loneliness is not just emotional, it's physical. Studies show that long-term loneliness is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, depression, and early death. That's not opinion, that's science. But no one warns you. No one tells you how hard it hits after 70, how the world starts to move faster without you, how being unseen starts to feel normal. You tell yourself, I'm fine, I don't want to bother anyone. But deep down, you miss the sound of your name spoken with warmth. You miss conversation, laughter, the simple joy of being included. And slowly, you start to pull back. One missed gathering becomes a habit. One ignored call becomes silence. And loneliness moves in like a shadow you never asked for. But here's the power you still hold. You don't have to accept it. You can fight back, not with noise, but with action. Pick up the phone, call someone, write a letter, join a local group, smile at a stranger. Connection doesn't always come to you. Sometimes you must go to it. You are still alive. You still have stories to tell, wisdom to give, and love to receive. But the world won't know that unless you remind it. Loneliness is real, but so is hope, so is community, and so is your ability to create it. Starting now, no one is coming to save you. You must save yourself. There comes a time in life, especially after 70, when a painful truth settles in. No one is coming to save you. Not your children, not your doctor, not the government. People may care about you, but they have their own lives, their own stress, their own chaos. And the older you get, the easier it becomes to feel forgotten. You wait for someone to call. You wait for someone to visit. You wait for someone to check in and say, how are you really? But the longer you wait, the heavier it feels. Until bitterness replaces hope. Until you silently start giving up on being cared for at all. But here's the hard truth, and the liberating one. You don't need someone to rescue you. You need to rescue yourself. You don't need to wait for someone to bring you joy. You need to go and build it yourself. Pick up a book, learn something new. Go for a walk, start a new hobby. Say hello first, join that local center, visit the park. Because when you take action, no matter how small, You tell life, I'm still in the game, I'm not done yet. The strongest elders are not the ones who had the most support. They're the ones who refuse to sit back and fade quietly. Yes, there are days when it hurts. Yes, there are days when you feel tired, alone, unseen. But if you keep showing up for yourself, you'll become the kind of person others are drawn to. The world isn't going to knock on your door every day. So open your own door. Step outside. Live on purpose, even if no one's watching. Because this chapter of your life still belongs to you. The world will try to forget you. Don't let it. As the years go by, something cruel begins to happen. The world stops seeing you. You walk into a store and no one looks your way. You try to speak, but the conversation moves past you. Your opinions are brushed off with, "You wouldn't understand." And slowly you begin to feel like you're fading, not just physically, but socially, emotionally, spiritually. And here's the brutal truth. The world is not designed for the elderly. It moves fast, it worships youth, it's addicted to speed, noise, and newness. And if you don't push back, if you don't stand tall, you become invisible in your own story. But hear this clearly. You are not done. You are not irrelevant. You are not disposable. You are a living library, a keeper of wisdom, a survivor of storms younger generations have never even imagined. You carry the kind of knowledge the world desperately needs, but they won't hear it unless you speak. Don't shrink. Don't stay silent. Tell your story. Share your experience. Remind people who you are and what you've lived through. Write, record, mentor. Speak at community events. Volunteer. Talk to the youth. Not because you're seeking attention, but because you still have something to give. The greatest tragedy of old age, being forgotten while you're still alive. But you don't have to accept that. The world may try to forget you, but you can choose to stay unforgettable. Be seen, be heard, be present. Because when you stop hiding, the world remembers. And more importantly, you remember yourself. Your time is precious. Stop wasting it on regret. At 70 and beyond, you begin to feel it. The weight of time. The realization that you have more years behind you than ahead. And suddenly your mind turns backward to the mistakes, the missed chances, the people you lost, the things you wish you could undo. You sit with your tea and stare out the window, not at what's there, but at what used to be. Regret becomes your silent companion, whispering, "You should have done it differently." And while reflection can be healing, regret can be a trap. It paralyzes you. It steals the joy from your remaining years. It tells you your best days are over, that all that's left now is to wait. But here's the truth, as raw and honest as it comes. You don't have decades to waste anymore. Every sunrise you see now is not just another day. It's a blessing, a second chance, a new page. So stop using today to replay yesterday. You can't rewrite the past. You can decide what the rest of your story will sound like. You can still say, "I'm sorry." You can still forgive. You can still try. You can still laugh. You can still fall in love with life again. The clock is ticking. Not to scare you, but to remind you this moment matters. And wasting it on regrets is like burning the last pages of a priceless book. Live intentionally. Do something that scares you. Say what you've always wanted to say. Go where you've always wanted to go, even if it's just down the street with your favorite music in your ears. Because the most brutal truth is also the most freeing. You don't have forever, but you still have now. Use it, don't lose it, live it. Now you've heard them. The 4 brutal, unfiltered truths about aging. Not the ones printed in brochures, but the ones felt deep in the heart. Yes, aging brings loneliness. Yes, it brings silence, invisibility, regret. But it also brings a second chance. A chance to reclaim your voice, your purpose, your dignity. Because here's the greatest truth of all. You are not done. No matter what the world says. No matter who forgot to call. No matter how many candles were on your last birthday cake. You are still here. And if you're still here, that means you still have time. Time to forgive. Time to connect. Time to write the most meaningful chapters of your life. It won't be easy. You'll have to push through silence. Fight against old routines. Break through emotional walls that have been there for years. But it's worth it because these years, right now, can be your most powerful, most peaceful, most purposeful yet. So stop waiting to be remembered. Start reminding the world who you are. Speak louder, love deeper, walk taller, and when your time does come, let it find you not quietly fading, but standing with pride, fire in your eyes, and a heart that kept beating all the way to the end. Your story is still being written. Make these last pages unforgettable.